you're going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with crank.com and with that metal station. And today it's with great pleasure that I get to have a chat with Bill Hudson about his latest project, well, his latest album with his Power Metal Project NorthTale, Eternal Flame, which comes out 12th of November through Nuclear Blast. Really exciting times for you, Bill. It must be exciting to finally get this album out among the masses there.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's been a long time, like we started working on this record on February of 2020. Even some of the songs even earlier, and with the COVID delays and all that, we delivered the album, God, 6, 7 months ago. I can't wait. I've been hearing it, I've been listening to it every day, and I can't wait to see what people think outside of our bubble, well, of course we think it's great, but it's really cool to hear opinions from outside. So I can't wait, man.
I love power metal. I was introducing power metal to my girlfriend the other day, and she said it's kind of the music you expect the hero to have in the background of the movie, who's ready to overcome something, that great feeling inside of us. And this album really does encapsulate it. And it must be great working with Guillermo Heroes and that track, that Bringing Down the Mountain track, which kind of introduced him to the public as well. Tell me a little bit about working with him and that track there.
So Guillermo basically came in. We had a different singer on our first album, Christian Eriksson, who is still I still have mad respect for the guy. Still one of my favorite singers. We couldn't continue working together because we didn't see eye to eye. What I wanted to do, what he wanted to do was different. So Guillermo comes in, and we recorded some of the songs from the first album, like Bring Down the Mountain and Follow Me and Shape Your Reality. Those were songs that the fans already knew from the first album. And it was kind of the way to because a lot of people didn't think that whoever we got would be able to replace Christian. It is pretty hard. It's pretty fucking, pretty big shoes to fill. So that's why I was like, go sing Bring Down the Mountain. That's one of the Christian songs, let's show people what you can do. So, but it's been awesome, man. He's from Brazil like me, and we have, we're actually from the same hometown even. So even though we never met before. And we have a lot in common. We like a lot of the same artists. We share a love for old Angra that it's very particular to people from Brazil. And of course he also knows a lot about power metal in general. He's a big fan of the genre. So it's been awesome, man. He's definitely a game changer. Like Guillermo came in the band and we have the most success we ever had.
Yeah, and he's got an amazing set of pipes on him. Jeez, he can sing. It's absolutely unreal. This album is just fucking unreal, man. I really, really enjoyed this album a hell of a lot. Can you tell me about the track, though? You mentioned Angra. Tell us about the track, the NorthTale, Eternal Flame, The Land of the Mystic, because I noticed a little bit of homage to your roots as well, your South American roots there too.
Yeah, absolutely. The Land of Mystic Rights is a song about Brazil and about being Brazilian, straight up. So what happened is, with the first album, everything was a little bit too generic. It was like, it's cool, it's power metal, but it could be Hammerfall, it could be Halloween, it could be Stratovarius, it couldn't be everybody that said that our first album was not original was right. This is why I never denied it. So on this album, I was like, well, that's the kind of music I want to make, but what would you sound like bringing in what I do, my influences, my own, like my Brazilianness, so to speak. Of course, the concept of bringing Brazilian music into metal totally came from Angra, from an album called Holy Land, that I really, really love. But the way I did it, at least in my opinion, is different because I did it from I actually brought in some of the melodies from the actual folk songs and put it on the song. And it's an attempt to do something different, to show, this is how we do power metal in Brazil. To me, that's very important, especially having a singer from there.
Yeah, well, it is really important when you're making music to have those little bit of influences. And I love that you have kind of expanded a bit. And that 11-minute track there, Nature's Revenge, is an absolute epic track, and the vocal changes in it are unreal. As you get up to about 6 minutes, and it gets really heavy, and then 9 minutes, I think that riffs of yours just cuts absolutely unreal, man. Tell us a little bit about that track. I got to ask because I was hammering that one this morning.
Oh man, I'm so happy to hear that, because that's a song that I am really thinking that a lot of people are gonna think is too long or not gonna follow through. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to hear that, because that's my song about the pandemic. You
Yep.
know, and when the pandemic started, everyone started making the songs. It was either about masks or about lockdown, and it was all this. Everybody basically saying the same. And I was kind of like, I want to write about the pandemic because it's obviously affecting my life. I'm here stuck in a little room instead of being online, online, or instead of in a room online instead of being on tour.
Yeah.
So what the hell, like. So I saw this video with the dolphins coming closer, coming near the coming to the water, near closer to people in Venice, Italy. The animals coming, and all these animals running in the road, and people talking about how nature was healing. And that was really inspiring to me. I wanted to, because I was like, wow, yeah, man, you know what? Nature got just pissed off because we're assholes, and she basically sent us to our bedrooms so we can think about what we've done. That's kind of how I saw it, and I wanted to make that into music. This is why it gets heavier. This is why I have the growls. The growls are done by my friend Mary Zimmer. She's an amazing vocalist, and she plays Mother Earth. I was like, okay, I need a female to do this
Yeah.
part, because that's when Mother Earth comes out and says, "You're all fucked." It's basically what that part is. You made your choices. I've held for so long, but now I'm done. So it had to be powerful. It had to be dramatic, but it had to be a girl.
Yeah.
And then after that, the instrumental part with the piano that keeps repeating over and over again, I call that the quarantine, because that's how it was. Every day is the same. It just changes a little bit. Maybe you go to the gym, maybe you take a walk. So in our song, this part, maybe it's not a piano, it's a violin now. Maybe it's a guitar, but it's always the same
Same.
part. So all of that was definitely taken into account when I did that song. I wanted the different moods and all that. So I'm very glad to hear you actually followed all that, and I hope
Uh,
people do
I
too.
love the longer tracks, Bill, especially like tracks like this that you can go on a journey with as well. I know some people kind of avoid it, and I know the shitty
Yeah.
ass digital platforms don't like it as much. For me, I love hearing a long song in a band that's put that effort into it, man. And always kind of grabs my attention a little bit as well to go on that journey with the band and the whole storytelling from start to finish, from the only human right up to Ivy. I love the way it ends with that bit in Ivy as well. That was a fucking cool way
Yeah.
to end the album.
I appreciate that, man. And about that song, uh, what that is a little bit of the every melody turning into an orchestral piece. And I actually have to give credit to my orchestration, Bruno Oliveira, because he put it together. He did their arrangement, and well, of course my melodies, but he did the arrangement. And what happened is my mom lost her little dog Evie during the recording of the album, and that's the outro song is for her. It's a
Yeah.
tribute to the little dog.
Oh,
So that's why it's called Evie, and that's why it's so big. I was like, she was tiny. She was this big, but she was my mom's little princess. So I kind of wanted to do that instrumental part to her.
sorry,
But
Mum. I know what it's
yeah,
like to lose a dog. It doesn't matter if they're this little or this big. They make
yeah,
an impact in
exactly.
your heart. So that was really special. Mum would have probably liked that track as
Oh
well,
yeah,
eh?
oh yeah. My mom was all about it. She loved it.
um,
And it actually says it in the booklet too, a tribute to Princess Evie.
Oh, nice. Because he's got vinyl for this, and they look pretty sweet. I did jump over and have a look at some of the pre-order packs and vinyl. It must be good to have this album on vinyl, because it's really
Yeah.
great to see albums like this getting on vinyl and metal fans going along and buying it. I think we're really lucky in the metal community that we like stuff and more vinyl and merch and things like that as well.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I'm all about that myself. I even if I have to admit, I listen to music mostly digital. I
Yeah,
like
same.
collecting still. I like having the CD, even though I never listen to it. It's like the new Halloween. I have the CD, the special edition, but I never listen. I
Oh, how
listen
good
to
was
it.
that
And,
Halloween
it's
album?
probably fun, man. That's album of the year for me.
And you had Kai
That's
Hansen singing on one of the tracks as well. I
yeah.
believe that was Future Call. And you had his son, Tim Hansen, as well, doing a little bit of the guitar solos as well.
Yeah, dude, that was super cool because I've known Kai for a few years now. We're friends, and actually, when I started the band, I sent Kai the demos. I'm like, "Hey, man, you want to produce this album?" And he couldn't do it, but this one, I'm like, "All right, I'm not gonna ask you to produce, but we'll sing a song." And he was all about it. And then he's like, "My son can play guitar. He'll do a solo." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let the Hansons come in." Sure. And that song, I mean, I wrote it to as a tribute to his music. Like, I have no problem saying the opening riff is totally me ripping off Ride the Sky. So it was just perfect. I listened to that song as a fan because of his voice all the time.
Yeah, it's a ripping track. How did COVID affect you guys with making this album and everything? Did you all have to do it digitally, or were you in a room? Or tell us about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, being spread all over the world, I'm in Florida, my singer's in Brazil, the bass player's in Sweden, and the keyboard player's in Missouri, which might as well be Sweden. It's just as far.
Yeah.
and like and but I mean, the first album we did, all everyone did it at home, and then we sent it out to be mixed. We were used to that process. Now, bringing in Dennis Ward as a producer, and doing that digitally was completely new and mind blowing to me, because Dennis introduced us to this software called Audio Movers, where I'm recording here at home and he's listening in real time, like just like if he was sitting in front of me in the studio. So the process was, I mean, I would dare to say that this album would not be what it is if it wasn't for us being online at home, because we
Yep.
had all the time in the world to mess up, to go through every note. You know what I mean? We were changing stuff sometimes, like during the mix. Dennis is already mixing. I'm like, man, that solo sucks. Can I do a new one? Like, so the COVID. This is all because of COVID. But we're all because we're stuck at home overthinking things. But even though I had that many fucking shows canceled, at least when it comes to NorthTale, I did an album that to my ears sounds great.
Yeah, do you think it kind of is going to help with the future of NorthTale? Like, I know it's had its fucking negatives, and there's nothing like getting in a studio together, but working from home and having that comfort factor of being in your own home and all the band members being spread out across the world, do you think learning how to do this, make the album this way, is going to help with the future of NorthTale?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because now we know that we can do that.
Yeah.
Now for the next album, I'm planning on flying everybody down to Brazil and trying to record everything in
Yeah.
Brazil. You
Yep.
know, because I have a really good studio there with a really good engineer where we did the vocals for this album. I kind of
Yep.
want to try to do everything there. Um, but but if that doesn't work, I'm good. I'm good with doing this. With the way we did it here. I mean, it was very, 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 very meticulous. Like just notes and tones, and maybe the bass comes out. Maybe change that one note. All that stuff that you only do when you're sitting in front of the computer all day overthinking.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your plans with NorthTale? I know fuck we're all in lockdown, used to spread across the world, but are you looking at maybe getting to play some shows next year? I know this year's probably going to be really bloody hard, but
Yeah, I mean,
next year.
well, I mean, we do have an European tour coming up with Unleash the Archers.
Oh, choice. They're good
But
as
I
well.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but
I know. I
we
know.
have it. It's there. I mean, well, our name is on the flyer. That's all I care.
But
But
that's what makes it even more important to buy albums and support the metal scene. That's been my big thing the last couple of years. Even big bands like NorthTale, you've got to get along and support bands, buy tickets, hold your tickets, grab merch
Yeah.
and really support this scene, because the fucking digital platforms do take a lot away from it. People think, oh, I'm just streaming it, and
They take 80% away, motherfuckers.
I know, and for me, there's nothing like going and putting an album in, like having that vinyl, having the CD, or even the digital. I buy shit tons of digital albums as well. Like having that album and pressing play and going from start to finish, you can't fuck with it. Something that these platforms are never going to have, and you do it safe in the knowledge you're supporting the scene. Because I've seen some bigger bands at this time have had to fucking split because they can't even play live shows, and live shows are a big part of the scene and the metal community.
Oh man, yeah, that's our focus right now. We wanna get out and play live. We've done the album, we'll do the press, but now we have to get out and play, because another thing is, man, there's a lot of talented people nowadays, and there's a lot of facility to record. So like, it's almost like it's not easy, but it's doable for almost anyone to do a great album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, what does the band sound like live? What do you guys look like? Are you guys a good band? So that's what I think we have to prove next.
Yeah.
We have to prove that, because a lot of people think we're a studio project, which I guess they have a point, but that's not what we want to do.
The amount of shows you
out.
played low, Bill, like your quality of guitarmanship is unreal. I can't wait to see Guillermo on stage. That would just be fucking unreal. The band you've got together is absolutely unreal. The amount of years of experience you guys have got behind you, and the pipes on Guillermo is just going to be an absolutely amazing show. I'm hoping you guys can get over to Australia eventually once all these fucking borders are done. It would be absolutely unreal, man. And I am really, really looking forward to this Eternal Flame dropping on everyone on 12th of November through Nuclear Blast. It's going to be a crack and listen, and I know fans of you guys are going to love it, and power metal fans are really going to adore the hell out of this album.
Yeah, man. Thank you. That means a word to me. It means a lot hearing from you. And I really hope we can get out to Australia. We've actually talked to promoters there before the pandemic.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that we can make something work. It's just really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But with the right package, we might actually be able to pull it off. We sure have a lot of support from our label down there.
Yeah.
So I've never been there with any bands. I've been to Japan. Wow. I've been to Russia, to Eastern Russia, and but I've never been to Australia, man. So I'd love to.
I'll have to put it on the to-do list after this COVID shit's over with, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a lot of friends from there. I know a lot of people there. I would love to come.
Yeah, Bill, I'm going to let you get about the rest of your day, man. I know you got another one after this. Thank you very much for making some time to have a chat with me, man. I really do mean it. I love the heck out of this Eternal Flame album, and I know metalheads are going to love the hell out of it as well. Do you have any last words, shout-outs, or thank yous you'd like to add in, my friend?
Well, thank you so much, Jai, for this, man, because it means a lot. Your words telling me you should know that you're one of the first 5 people to tell for that I'm hearing the opinion outside of our bubble. So it's really cool to know that you like the album this much. I hope that's a sample of what everybody thinks. And thank you so much for the opportunity, man. I really hope that if we make it to Australia and I get to hang out.
We will for sure, Bill. Thank you very, very much.
Awesome.
Everyone grab Eternal Flame from NorthTale. Comes out 12th of November through Nuclear Blast. Put it in the stereos. Turn it up really loud for the neighbours. Cheers, mate.
Take care, man.